Call the meeting to order. Any conflicts, gentlemen?
None.
Nope.
We have a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consider approval of the minutes. Any changes, Taryn?
No.
Motion approved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Claims, any questions?
I looked through them, they look fine to me, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ryan?
Yeah, sounds great. I'm just gonna make some introductions, and we kind of already have, but Ryan Bourbon with Assured Partners, we do all the employee benefits consulting for the ISAC program that your county's been a part of for a long time. I've always been your point of contact for the renewal side of things. But we have Eric Willis, who joined our team. He's been on our consulting team for 8 years, but just joined our team in West Des Moines. So he's gonna take some of the ISAC counties that I've historically worked on. There's 31 now, and we meet with them all in 6 weeks. So we're trying to divide and conquer a little bit, where I'm not the sole consultant going out and meeting with every county a part of the pool.
He uses a good pen, so it was all right with me.
Yeah, that's right. Eric works with a lot of cities. He's used to public type setting meetings. Our service team stays the same. I'm still on the team, of course. I kind of lead the team. But he'll be your point of contact moving forward. This year we're just going around and doing these meetings together for introductions, and then he'll be here next year to walk you through the renewal process. So,
Okay.
but I'll hand it over to Eric and
Yeah, sweet.
we'll go through it.
Thanks, nice to meet everybody. We can get into the packet here. So to start, just the table of contents, we're gonna review all of your employee benefits here today, give you some highlights. There are a couple changes with the medical insurance that we can review, but then also going over all those ancillary products as well. So flipping the page, you'll see the renewal forecast. So just some highlights there. You'll see the Wellmark Health Insurance with ISAC is getting a 2.1% increase in premium. The dental with Delta Dental is a 1.4% increase. Everything else there listed, the partial self-fund administration, the ancillary lines, vision, group life, voluntary life, accident, critical illness, all those things are either in a rate hold or rate guarantee here as well. So the next page is really just more of a high-level overview of our partnership with ISAC and what we do. And so, obviously, like we mentioned, all the benefits, but then also some of the back-end support as well. So the customer service team, there's also ISAC providing some COBRA administration, consolidated billing, which is nice. Ryan did mention the 31 counties that are part of the health plan today. That is growing. We have added 3 within the last year, so that just is really good for the pool and stability and just increasing those numbers as well.
Yeah, and a real significant reason counties want to join our pool is because we're able to give you a renewal before you start your budgets or as you start your budget conversations. We just had a county with about 70 enrolled that wants to join ISAC. We won't be able to look at their renewal until April 1st. Because you get it 90 days before you renew. So that's a problem for counties, as you're just guessing on a pretty significant, line item expenditure as you go through your budget process. So that continues to be a huge reason why counties want to join and they stay in. Our persistency in the 10 years I've managed the pool, we had 1 county leave and they came back the year later. So we've had no counties actually leave the pool in 10 years.
Next page, you'll see the wellness program. So this is a big part of ISAC. We just had the wellness meeting last Friday to review how all that was looking. There is 5 points that you can earn for wellness. A nice thing for you guys is that you have earned those the last 2 years, which really helps rates. So those 5 points then equate to 5 percentage points as well. And so employees, partake in getting a physical, doing an online assessment. There's some mental health training as well, and they're really incentivized to do that because they can get some dollars back themselves, which then also helps the county back on the back end. And one of the changes here you'll see at the very bottom, employees have historically gotten $1 for every 10,000 steps that they walk each day as a nice incentive. That we did get some feedback that has been kind of hard for a lot of people to get each day, and so what we did is we lowered that to 7,500, where if you are able to get between 7,500 and 10,000, you're going to get that 50 cents. as well. So there'll be more and more people probably, joining in to that, we hope, moving forward.
And they're also giving $75 for anyone that gets a new wearable tracking device. So whether that's a smartwatch, a Fitbit, you just have to submit your receipt next year and you'll get $75 back.
The next page here is the Employee Assistance Program. This is 100% paid by ISAC. Formerly this was called CareBridge. It was bought by this All One Health, and so this is a nice resource for employees. Mental health sessions, life coaching, financial consulting, legal advice. There's a whole list of things that they can do, and it's all confidential. So it's a really, really nice benefit to be able to offer your employees, and they're also available 24/7, 365. So there's that. Front and back there with some of the info. The next part of this is just our comp disclosure. So we're required to disclose the fees that we charge, and so for you guys, you guys are the agent of record on the term life insurance and the AD&D, as well as the partial self-fund administration. So those are the only two things that we're going to be receiving comp on for you guys. All of the other lines of coverage, medical, dental, vision, is ISAC they're the agent of record. So
employer of record.
Sorry, employer of record. Yep. And so, we're not proposing any changes to that. It's the same as it would have been last year. Just have to disclose it for you guys. As you turn the pages here, you'll get to the top. In the top right, it's the rate adjustment utilization key. And so this is changing a little bit from what we've done in the past. I mentioned some health plan changes. This is part of that as well. So historically, we've used 3 years of claims data for all of our numbers. We met with a few actuarial firms, and they said, hey, 3 years gets to be a little bit too old. We want as accurate as data as possible. So based on their suggestion, we're just going down to 2 years of claims data. So you'll see 2024 and 2025 listed there on the left with claims paid versus collected premium, and those dollar amounts listed as well. So as you flow down the page,
Is this statewide or just Shelby County?
this
for
is
your county.
just Shelby County.
Yep.
Yep, and so you'll see here the loss ratio for 2024 and 2025 down there at the bottom, 1.04 for 24, and then 1.53 for 25. That 2-year average being 1.29. Obviously, that 2025 year was the one that hurt more. And so we take this and then we basically put you into a bucket, which if you flow up to the top right, that's our 13 buckets. Historically, we've used 7 buckets. What we tried to do was we're trying to just stabilize the pool a little bit more. And so by creating more buckets, we're not able to move as much each year. So it's just keeping those rates as close together as possible. So as you'll see here, in 2026, you guys were in bucket 9, and that was 95% of base rate is what your guys' rates were. Well, because of the fact that your loss ratio, your 2-year average down at the bottom left of 1.29, that would make you fall into bucket 2 that you'll see towards the top. The good news for you guys though is that because of the fact that you can only bump 1 tier each year, you guys will only be bumping from bucket 9 to bucket 8. So you guys would fall into the 97.5% of base rate, where technically based on your claims experience, you should be falling in a higher bucket. So this is part of the benefit of being a part of ISAC and a larger pool, where you're not going to be able to move as much. It just creates more stability, for your health plan.
Just out of curiosity, and maybe you don't know the answer to this, but if you would have used 3 years instead of 2 years, would we have been lower?
Fiscal year 23 was an 84% loss ratio, so that would have
So
potentially
that hurt
helped you.
us by you guys cutting out
It did.
the 3rd year.
Yeah, but what we did, you still would have gone up a tier either way, because the 153% was significantly higher. We took the bands, you would have moved historically 5% of each tier. Now it's only 2.5. So I actually ran your group with the old model, and your renewal would have been over two times what it actually is. It would have been about 5% instead of 2.1.
Okay,
Yep, but that's a good question, because I had that same thought.
okay, thanks.
Yeah, and so as we flow down that chart, you'll see that wellness discount is applied for 2027. I mean, you guys got it in 26 as well, but 2027, you'll see you guys have the full 5 percentage points to get your guys' overall discount ratio down to 92.5% of base rate. Yep. So there's that. As you flip the page here, you'll see just kind of a little review. Current plans versus renewal plans. 2 plans offered. You'll see the 2.1%, which is what we reviewed on one of those first pages. You'll see 17% for the increase for the budgeted HSA, HRA. The reason for that is because of some plan changes, and so we'll review those here on the next page. But basically all that's doing is saying, hey, the plans have moved a little bit and that out-of-pocket max has gone up, so now the county is going to be taking on a little bit more risk on that partial self-fund on the back end. So we can review that here on the next page. You'll see in the dark blue current, light blue with your renewal plan. Today, you guys offer plan 11E and 12C, both on the PPO network. Yeah, you're back one. Yep. So 11E and 12C on the PPO network with your plans listed. What we try to do is we just try to streamline the plans a little bit, and so that it is a little bit of flipping, but you're on the current page. The plan grid of the new plans is on the page right behind it. So what we've done is we've just made 8 plans with 2 different networks. So the PPO network, national coverage, and then that POS network, which is a little bit more limiting. And because of the fact that the plans are changing, we're not able to keep the plans exactly the same with this overhaul of our plans. And so what we've done is we've mapped you to the most comparable plans. So plan 11E would map to plan 1, plan 12C would map to plan 5. And so you'll see there in red that, for instance, plan 11E, today the bought plan from Wellmark has an out-of-pocket max of $6,350. That would be going up to $7,500. You'll see there in red. So then that means that the county, if everything stays the same in terms of what the employee sees on their health plan, the county would be taking on a little bit more risk because of that increased out-of-pocket max. The same thing then goes for the next plan over, so comparing 12C to plan 5, you'll see today it's a $3,300 out-of-pocket max. That'd be going up to $35,000 based on the most comparable plan offered by ISAC. So those are some changes. The other big thing to note is if you flow down a little bit farther on the sheet, you'll see copays for prescription drugs in red. Tier 2 and Tier 3 drugs are changing. So today, Tier 1 drugs on that first plan, Tier 2 drugs would be $20. That is going to $30. And then the $45 copay for Tier 3 would be going to $60. So prescription drugs obviously have gone up over the last few years. We haven't changed any of those copays in 8 years or so, and so we thought that it was finally the time to make a little bit of a change there with that increase. The other thing to make note of is that specialty drug copay of $150 and $300, that we actually have a plan that's embedded into your health plan that actually makes those free. So you can touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, so there's a company called Prudent RX that they source these drugs and maximize the manufacturer's assistance. When they go through that process, the member actually has a $0 copay for those specialty drugs. We have everyone enrolled that's eligible. So those copays are going up, but they don't impact 99% of your membership. The biggest thing as an employee, what's changing for me? That I think is the question that you want to try to digest. So if you look down, Plan 11E has 53 employees, Plan 12C has 27. So we can kind of get the split. We have about 2/3 on the traditional plan, 1/3 on the high deductible health plan. Your current high 11E plan, the traditional plan, has a separate pharmacy out-of-pocket maximum, and that's noted at the very bottom. So as you consume pharmacy copays on your current plan, that tracks to a $1,250 out-of-pocket maximum. Once you've reached $1,250 as the employee, or member, you're done paying for pharmacy. In addition, with Plan 12 or 11E, you have a $2,000 out-of-pocket medical maximum. Does everyone see that number? Net out-of-pocket maximum under the Plan 11E of $2,000. So as a member today, you could pay $2,000 for your medical and $1,250 for your pharmacy. So $3,250. Plan 1 that we're mapping you to, the medical and pharmacy out-of-pocket maximum are combined. And this is the more traditional, modern way of building health plans. So we've taken some of these older plans that have been historically a little bit different in how they're built, and we've modernized them to how health plans are being built today. We've combined the medical and pharmacy. So if we keep your out-of-pocket maximum on the partial self-fund at $2,000, your employees will actually spend less next year if they have medical and pharmacy expenses than what they're paying this year. So $3,250 would be reduced to $2,000 if they have significant pharmacy copays and medical claims. So that's a win. Now the county does have to pick up some additional risk because we're actually lowering what the employee's out-of-pocket maximum would be. And that's what Eric was trying to explain with the partial self-fund budget. Now historically, when I worked on that with Mark, he had like a set amount that he would put aside every year for the partial self-fund, which was a little bit different than what most of the counties do. Most counties will create a single and family rate that they put into the partial self-fund, and then that gets changed every month that you have a different enrollment. I don't know your process yet on how you're handling that, but I'm happy to follow up with you and we could walk you through kind of what we think is the best practice. But I know your reserve fund currently I think has over $400,000 in the account, so it's very well capitalized. You have plenty of dollars sitting there, which is a good thing. Mark did not do a bad job managing this. He just did it a little bit differently than what most counties would typically do. So I'm happy to, we can walk you through kind of a flow chart of how most counties would handle that. But let's also take note, Plan 12C, the deductible's $3,300 for single, $5,400 for family. So the single renewal plan moves to $35,000, and we have to make some increases to stay compliant with the IRS minimums to be eligible for a health savings account. However, the family deductible is going up pretty substantially, and I want to take note of that. It's going from $5,400 to $7,000. So we do have 12 members that are, 12 employees currently enrolled as family contracts on that plan. And they will have a much higher out-of-pocket next year, and that's the closest plan that we can map you to. So really, everyone under Plan 1, very minimal changes. In some cases, you're actually saving money if you have a lot of pharmacy and medical claims. Under Plan 5, if you're a family contract and you have significant claims, you will be paying more next year than you're paying this year. That's the big negative. So 2/3 of the employees really probably win. A third, especially if you're a single, if you're the 15 single contracts, $200 difference is not much, but the family is where there is a difference that I wanted to point out. But again, overall, if we think about a group, you ran at a 150% loss ratio. If you are not in a pool program with some of the levers that we have in place, you'd be looking at certainly a double-digit increase. I mean, it would be a pretty significant increase based on your loss history over the last 12 months. So the pool is helping Shelby County out this year tremendously.
Like we mentioned, here's the plan grid on the next page listing the 8 new plans. There's actually really only 4 plans, but then with 2 different networks for each. Your plan's then highlighted, obviously down there in the green for the rates.
Yeah, and we didn't show you Plan 3 and 4. Those are new copay plans. So if you want to have a set copay for your primary care and specialist, your group has never had a flat copay because we've never offered a plan like that. It is about 3.5% more expensive, but I think it makes sense to map to Plan 1. Plan 7 and 8 have much higher deductibles for a high deductible health plan that I don't think would make a lot of sense for your county. So we've tried to map you on the plans that make the most logical sense to us, that are closest to benefit to what you have today.
The next part of this here would be the dental coverage. So really nothing changing with this. It's the same flow where you'll see the current and renewal, and then all the plan grid on the next page behind it. So a couple of things to point out here. Obviously that 1.1% increase is minimal, but with Delta Dental here, you guys do have a $1,500 annual benefit max. That is the second richest plan that's offered. So definitely a good plan. A couple things to mention here. Ortho is covered. Also implants. Implants aren't something that's always covered on most dental plans, but it is on this. As well as another important thing to mention is Checkups Plus down here at the bottom is a really nice benefit where you're not having to have your 2 checkups per year, your 2 cleanings, go towards that annual benefit max. On most plans it does, where on this it's not going to be working towards that $1,500. So essentially you're getting about a $2,000 benefit for only the cost of the $1,500 plan. So like I mentioned, plan grid there on the next page, your rates highlighted there in green. Flipping through this, then Vision would be the next piece. Delta Vision is the carrier, nothing changing with this. Very straightforward. You have that $150 allowance on this plan. Pretty standard coverage there for the Vision. Life insurance, as you flip through, is the next with Reliance Matrix. So you do offer the $25,000 benefit amount for the life insurance. Employees then do, on the next page, have the ability to get the voluntary life as well. So, 100% employer paid for the life, and then employees being able to buy up as needed based on their situations for that.
You can see the enrollment at the bottom on the voluntary life. 27 employees are enrolled, 9 spouse and 6 children contracts. It's all based on your age. The older you get, the more expensive life insurance gets. But this is a post-tax payroll deduction. I just want to make an important note of that. We've had some counties that have been pre-taxing voluntary life, and that should be a post-tax deduction.
The last 2 pages here with the orange would be our products from Voya. So accident coverage on that first page, and then critical illness on the second. So the accident coverage, both of these are paid by ISAC, which is nice for the employee. If you're enrolled in the medical plan, you are enrolled in this. It's a really great benefit. For the accident, it's going to cover you for a lot of those things that pop up, x-rays, chiro, physical therapy, laceration, concussion, all sorts of different things. We always tell people, if you have kids that are in sports, it's usually smart to get one of these plans because it's going to pay for itself. You do have the option to buy up as well, and so if you want to, if you're an employee that's not on the health plan, you can purchase this by yourself as well as add spouses or dependents. The next piece is critical illness, so going to cover the main things: heart attack, stroke, cancer. Skin cancer is a little bit different, but again, this is 100% paid by ISAC, and we have had a lot of employees with our counties take advantage of this and get paid out for it.
And remember, the wellness has a $100 wellness benefit under the accident policy. And so we're automatically filing those on your employee's behalf right now. And so over the next 30 to 60 days, employees will get that $100 check from Voya that participated in had their physical in 2025. Anything you want to go back on and discuss a little bit more?
Good.
I think you covered it pretty good.
Okay. And we can follow up on the budget side of things. Since the partial self-fund is changing this year with your liability. I didn't have a note of what Mark had set aside last year, or maybe for this year, but we could talk about that and just get a game plan for next year.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next, Steve Kinkle, liaison report.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I just kind of check on this guy. How are you?
He's good. Eric. Just talking about it before we
Steve?
get started.
I really don't have anything today, guys, unless you guys have some questions for me. There's been no changes, so waiting on district court, and then again, Supreme Court in January sometime, so. Okay? Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Hurry up and wait, guys.
Yep. If you guys wouldn't mind, Mike Nig had reached out to me, Front Secretary of Agriculture. I want to know if he get any signatures in the county, so. I'll collect that a little later. Thank you.
All right, Wendy Mueller with West Central Development, come on up.
Hi,
Oh, Wendy.
how's everybody?
Good, how are you?
How are you?
Good. Let me get you. Morning. Okay, well, thank you for letting me come speak today. I appreciate it. I also brought Kelly Malberg. Sometimes I always forget to introduce him. He's the weatherization director, so he came with me today too. So I just want to thank you for your continued support. We are asking the same amount as we did last year, which is $3,500. And that funding goes to outreach services, which might include admin or indirect costs, any local match that we might need for grant opportunities, and then support any additional funding needs that we need in Shelby County. I would really like to thank Charlie. He's our board president, has been for several years, and he does an extremely great job and is very supportive of what we do. So you have a packet of information that details services that we provided throughout fiscal year 25. We served 451 households, which consisted of a little over 1,000 individuals. 45% were single-person households, 61% had an income below the 100% poverty guideline, and 37% were on a fixed monthly income. 42% that we served were between the ages of 18 and 59 years of age, and 57% rent their home. Moving on to the services that we provided, Head Start. So Head Start promotes school readiness for children ages 3 to 5 in low-income families. They do a variety of things: educational, nutritional, health, social, and other services. And we have 2 classrooms right here in Shelby County, one located in Harlan, which serves a total of 16 children, and one through a partnership with Harlan Community School District that serves an additional 16. We also have Early Head Start, so that provides support to low-income infants, toddlers, and pregnant women and their families. And we do operate a center-based option here in Shelby County, which is 2 classrooms, and we serve 16 children. Then we have child care resource and referral. So this one just really assists families in selecting child care providers who best meet the needs of their families. They also deliver a lot of technical assistance to preschool centers and homes. There were 13 child care programs with a capacity of 420 spaces that were listed with CCR&R. And we do continue to see a loss, not only in Shelby County, but nationwide. So. Then we have the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or also known as LIHEAP. This really helps low-income households pay a portion of their heating bill. We had 316 households received utility assistance for over $156,000. We also have emergency crisis money, or ESIP, which helps with service continuities, disconnects, and furnaces. So we served 33 households for a total of almost $18,000 with that program. And then weatherization, that helps households increase their energy efficiency in their homes. Staff evaluate and hire private contractors to insulate attics and walls, replace windows and doors, and provide minor repairs. We did have one house in Shelby County that received over $45,000 worth of services on their home. And then the food pantry, so households and individuals who reside in Shelby County may access our emergency food pantry up to 6 times a year. And it's designed to provide food for 3 to 4 days. We assisted 202 households for 487 individuals. And I just really would like to take a minute and thank the residents and businesses who continue to donate to our food pantry and our outreach office. We couldn't operate our food pantry laundry and clothing room without them. So people in Shelby County are extremely generous, and I just want to thank them for that. And they really stepped up when SNAP benefits went away in November, and it was amazing how many donations we got. So yeah, really want to thank everybody. And then we have the Family Development and Self-Sufficiency Program, or also known as FAD. So they just really work with at-risk families who have children and are under 175% of poverty. The FAD specialists really work with them in case management skills and to meet their personal goals. And the goal is to get them on the path to self-sufficiency. So last year we had 6 families that benefited from that program in Shelby County. We also had the Iowa Individual Assistance Grant Program, and we had 1 household that received assistance of over $1,500. And then page 7 just shows the program dollars or value that go either directly to clients or local vendors, which total over 1.1 million. And then page 8 shows the admin and delivery costs, and we really do try to keep our admin costs under 5% and our delivery under 20%, and we accomplished both of those things. And then the last page is just a summary, and as you can see, over $1.3 million worth of services were provided by West Central for Shelby County residents. And just on behalf of the employees and the board of directors, just thank you for your continued support. Any questions?
Get your fingers in a lot of buckets, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
Very busy office.
Yes. Yeah, our outreach officer in Shelby County is extremely busy, and Dina does a fantastic job, so, yeah. But we offer a lot of services, so,
She's got a good crew out there.
yeah, we do.
And she's a good leader.
Oh, well, thank you, I
You're
appreciate
visible
that.
in the community, and some places probably aren't quite as visible as you guys are.
Yeah. Sometimes it amazes me, though, that people still don't know who we are. Nope. So, and we cover 10 counties, so, and Shelby's just one of them, but, yeah. So, but the support in Shelby County, I will say, is second to none. It's phenomenal, so, yes.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy.
So, yeah, all right.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, Merry Christmas to you all, too. Thank you.
Happy holidays, guys.
Yep.
Chris
Do we
Frederickson.
need to, there's an action that we need to approve that.
Oh, do we?
No. Don't need to, okay.
Okay. Good morning, Chris.
Morning. How are you all?
Hi, Chris.
Winter over?
I say it is.
Okay.
I don't think anything will listen, but I would prefer it. Very, very, very quick update from the secondary road department, since with the wintry weather, things have slowed down. Recent snowfall, we've been out to some extent for the last 3 weekends, each weekend, so already off to a busy start for the guys, so hopefully it will straighten up and we can not have to go out. Weather sounds a lot better through Christmas here,
Yeah.
so we'll see how that goes. There are some spots on the gravel roads that need spot rocking. Just depends if the frost tries to come out, how bad things are going to get. We'll try and hit some spots. Generally, to do that, we have to tear a truck down. So if we can hit it between the snow, or just see how things land, we will try and touch things up. Both excavators are out yet. We're just kind of cleaning around some drainage pipes and doing some very, very small areas of ditching. Not a whole lot of frost in the
So you
ground
can get
yet.
out quick if you need to.
Yeah, if the weather decides to completely change over, we can bring everything back to town and be done. So we did just send the one down towards Walnut, so we are a ways away, but that should be a very quick deal, and try and bounce around and work back this way. Obviously with the weather, the bridge to low water that we are doing on Woodland Road, that has come to a stop. It's down on a dirt road, so it is tough to access the site, and it gets soft and slimy and everything else. So if things dry out, we'll try and go down and do a little additional work. I think there's 3 piers left of the old bridge that need to come down, otherwise everything else is out of there. So most of the removal is done. See how it goes. Hopefully we can still do a little bit before spring, but if we can't, we can't. And we'll hit it as soon as things straighten out. Other than that, right now we do have a 1A truck driver position that's open, so if anybody has a will to apply, we'd appreciate it. So that's what I've got for today.
Thanks much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you all.
Todd Billington with the Shelby County Chamber report. I think I saw him out there.
Yeah, he's out there. Morning, Todd.
Good morning. It's been a good holiday season so far.
Yeah. I think it's been 2 weeks since I've not had something I had to do. Just a few reminders, starting with the fact that the chamber office will be closing on the 24th at noon. And then we'll reopen after the first of the year on the 5th. So for people who are looking to get gift certificates, especially businesses or individuals, just a reminder on that we'll be closing at noon on the 24th. So, and actually sales for gift certificates have been really, really good this year. I mean, we've had a large amount. So all of that money, of course, will get spent locally. So that's really good. We do have a ribbon cutting coming up on this Friday at 10 a.m. It's going to be at Rusty Rubbish. And so that's 805 7th Street. So looking forward to that. And then Santa's going to be at Milk and Honey on Friday, December 19th from 5:30 to 7. So, and they're going to do some community Christmas caroling at the same time. So everybody's invited for that. Elmcrest has a community mitten tree that they're doing right now until February 27th. So what that is people can come in and donate mittens, scarves, hats, things like that. And then they'll make sure that they get those distributed through the schools and the police department and other places to make sure that kids get what they need for warmth. Another cool thing is SCCO. They did this in November and they're doing it now also in December. If you bring in 6 items for the food pantry, you'll get 60% off on anything that you buy at SCCO. Tomorrow, kind of a neat thing in Elkhorn, it's going to be at their town hall. It's called Santa's Little Helpers. It's going to run from 2:30 to 6:30. So there'll be a lot of different things. They'll have crafts and shopping and more. But the nice thing is if you're a child who is 5th grade and younger, you can go in and for $1 you can buy presents for your family. So I thought that was kind of cool. And outside of that, we've got our open house this Thursday night. So of course, stop on by. We'll have some snacks and things for that. That'll start at 5 o'clock. And that's about my report for today. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Todd.
Hey, when are the hotel motel tax grants due?
They're gonna be due on the 24th also, as far as the applications are concerned. And then we'll have our meeting in January to review those. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But just because we're gonna be closed, we're telling people to get them in by the 24th, so.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Ruth Ann Grimsley with the comp board recommendations.
Hi, Rick.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am here representing Jim Zimmerman as part of the broker deal for him to take the chairmanship. I would be here this morning to provide the recommendations. So I have approximately 7 recommendations for you. We will start with the Board of Compensation would recommend an increase of 4% for the county attorney, the auditor, the recorder, and the treasurer positions. We would further recommend that these positions be allowed to receive stipends over and above their salary as approved by you, the Board of Supervisors. The third recommendation was to recommend an increase of 4% for the Board of Supervisors. We would also make a recommendation for an increase of 6% for the sheriff, with the motion further stipulated recommending that we would allow him a stipend over and above salary, again as approved by you, the Board of Supervisors. The 6th recommendation would be to recommend an annual stipend for the auditor for the time that it takes her to prepare the budget over and above her auditor's salary. 7th recommendation would be to recommend an annual stipend of $1,500 for the supervisor chair over and above the supervisor's salary. And I apologize, I had copies of these for all of you.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Was there a dollar amount for the auditor's stipend? For
No,
the budget?
we left that open for you guys to make that determination based on what their ask might be.
Okay, thanks.
And then the last recommendations would deal with the longevity schedule. It appears that the county employee handbook, there have been no changes to the existing schedule for years 5 to 20, but there were years 25 and 30 were added at 0.75 per hour and 0.85 per hour respectively, and we would again recommend those be added to our recommendations. And the last one is, as we would say in banking terms, a repeat recommendation. And since I'm representing Jim, I felt obligated to say that. The members will again recommend to you guys to look at that 5 through 20 year longevity schedule, since we have people in positions that it hasn't changed since they have been in their positions, and they've been there for many, many years. So probably time to take a look at that. And that was all of our recommendations.
Appreciate you guys doing the
Appreciate your
homework on
time.
that.
Yeah.
You betcha. Thank you, and Merry Christmas all.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas to you.
Kenny Hansen, EMS Director.
Again.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I sent you guys an updated ambulance addendum and our pay schedule, which we approved in July, but I missed a couple things on the addendum, so I updated it with a comp time alteration where they can bank 96 hours instead of 80 hours, so it applies to our 40-hour work week. And I also included a sleep period provision that we could implement as kind of a budgeting savings strategy. And then updated some of the required certifications for paramedics that have the trauma certifications and their, in regards to some of the other advanced certification stuff. So that was the primary changes on that. And then on the pay schedule, I just added in a pay schedule for the start of fiscal year 27 in July 1. And adjusted that based off of the current markets across Iowa for EMS workers, and didn't make it a certain percentage or anything like that, so that the percentage will apply to the employee as long as it's within that pay range. I also included a out-of-county transfer incentive, so if one of the employees gets called in on their days off and does a transfer to Audubon, they'll get an incentive to pay for that, or if it's a part-time employee that comes in, they'll get an incentive for doing those transfers, and the reimbursements from those will offset that incentive too. So the goal is kind of to hopefully take advantage of some of these GMT add-ons, which are significant, starting in July of 2026. So that's the updates on that. Otherwise, I can give you a quick overview real quick.
Sure.
So we're looking at having roughly 1,400 calls this year. We're at 1,370 so far with, 2 weeks ago. About 400 transfers. And we also adopted 3 families this year for Christmas, so the employees pooled some money together and fulfilled a lot of the wish lists for 3 different groups of kiddos. So some of the things we're working on with that, and then we got some heat installed into the garage area to keep that climate controlled. So that was nice, and that was pretty much donated. So we're able to help kind of get some of that going, make an improvement.
So your transfers have been up significantly.
Correct, yeah. So roughly 400 from MERV 2 is what we're looking at. We've done 3 out of Audubon so far. And with the GMT program that starts in July with that Medicaid add-on, our add-on rate is going to be about $1,400 per Medicaid transfer. So we're looking to try and take advantage of some
Great source of revenue. Yep.
Correct.
When does the new one get back?
The new one's leaving today.
Oh, it's leaving today.
Yep,
Okay.
and it'll be back in about a week.
Well, not too long yet.
So yeah, they said a week to 10 days.
Okay.
So we're getting the old ambulance kind of put back in service for that time frame. And we are going to hang on to that one for the time being until we hear what happens with some summer events that might be coming this way. So keeping an extra ambulance just to make sure we have enough readily staffed if we have to. So.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I was at a district meeting last week, and there are counties out there still who are on maybe their second or their third try to get EMS as an essential service. So we're very fortunate.
Yeah. Very
Our
much.
county approved that the first time around. because there are some that are struggling and they're still trying to get it passed. They're close, you know, but it takes, what, 60%, I think?
They're 60 or 65%.
Yes, they're getting in the 50s, but they can't quite get over that hump.
But a lot of this is what I'm looking at too, is like the long-term sustainability of the system, to make sure in 3, 5, and 10 years that we're able to maintain with tax revenues and billing revenues, that we can maintain an adequate amount to still plan for capital budgeting for like new ambulance purchases and equipment, and try to be as sustainable as we can. So that's the goals here.
So we have an action item for the 2026 ambulance at Edam. Any further comment on that, gentlemen?
No.
If not, can we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And for the pay schedule revision, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion on that one.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Both pass.
Okay.
Thank you, Kenny.
Yeah, the surrounding counties have noticed our ambulance service, and they're kind of envious a little bit.
Well, I'm trying pretty hard, and I know like
Change
with
is
some of
gone.
these state things, I get a lot of questions. And the president of the Iowa EMS Association, we actually just hired. He's on did a second shift here yesterday, so kind of taking the state by storm. So
Yeah, so they've noticed.
do you need these?
Thank you, Kenny.
Right.
Just sign it.
Is Carolyn out there?
Yeah.
Come on up.
Carolyn.
Treasurer report, consolidation of tax abatement.
Consideration, yeah, consideration, yes.
We'll consolidate it too.
This one is pretty straightforward. There's a number for where's part of it. This is a mobile home that was moved out of Shelby County here last month. So the taxes on mobile homes are, unlike real estate taxes, you're always a year behind. Mobile home taxes, you're current. So this September installment has been paid, so you'll see a zero balance there on the September amount. But the March of 26 balance, that represents the time period January 1st through June 30th of 2026. So because the mobile home has been moved out of the county, I issued a mobile home tax clearance stating that the taxes were paid up to date, and then the county or wherever it gets moved to, they would collect the taxes. In this particular situation, this is a little bit different. The purchaser was from Michigan, and the new site of the mobile home is going to be going to Minnesota. So in order for them to move the mobile home, they need to carry this mobile home tax clearance with. And typically, you know, they usually just get moved from one location to another in Iowa, but in this situation, however they do their taxes in Minnesota, that will be addressed. But Shelby County has collected all the taxes up to date, and so just the second half taxes, what would be due in March, would need to be abated for your consideration.
Any discussion? Okay. We have a motion to abate these taxes.
I'll make a motion to abate the taxes on Justin Mullet.
Second by Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
I do have a couple of things for department head report, but if you'd rather I wait until
No.
later down the list,
That's fine,
just a
you're
couple
here.
of things. So the state of Iowa DOT is implementing a new program entitled MBD 360, going into certain rollout phases after the first of the year. So there's some pretty intense training going on in my office right now for that. The first part of it rolls out in January, so they're, like I said, doing it in phases and such. So a lot of training is involved right now, a lot of webinars, getting us prepared for that. There was supposed to be a training last week, but due to the weather up north where the location of the training was supposed to take place, they canceled it. I had intended on sending staff to that, closing the office, but they canceled it the day before, so we were open here for business, so that'll be rescheduled
Is it
in
kind
the
of a
near
comprehensive
future.
plan, or is it specifically targeted at something?
It's a statewide training. A lot of it was just implementation of titles and the title work side of it. So, but that will be rescheduled. I know there's one coming up in Cedar Rapids and one in Pella. The one that we had was supposed to be in Carroll, so they'll reschedule that when they can. So that's a lot right now, a huge undertaking for all the treasurers across the state and the DOT as well. And then just on the property tax side, November 1st, we sent out delinquent tax notice reminders for taxes that were due in September 25. 446 parcels were unpaid at that time in the amount of a little over $406,000. We now have collected since then and are down to 182 parcels that remain unpaid in the amount of $176,000. A lot of people usually pay their full year taxes, or I shouldn't say a lot, but some people wait for their income tax refund and pay the full year amount with penalty after the first of the year. So that's pretty standard, normal. And as you know, of that, I think you are all aware, I've been in touch with you guys, one delinquent parcel of that $176,000 is being litigated by our county attorney with a parcel that can't be collected through the tax sale process. So of that $176,000, 66,000 of that is that one that we are working on getting collections through that process. So that's all I have for today, unless you have any questions.
Geraldine brought to my attention, there was some chatter about the state wanting to combine the recorder and treasurer's office through the whole Doge
Correct.
lens.
Yes.
And
Very much aware of that.
The meeting I was at last week, the ISAC was vehemently opposed to that move, and one legislator that was there said, never happened. So hopefully they know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
think
talked
there's-
about before.
I just don't see those two, like with us issuing driver's license, we cannot be in contact with places that issue birth certificates or marriage certificates. So I don't know how that would
Separation of
work.
duties is.
And, I think both offices have their own duties and responsibilities and should be left alone
I
as well.
was happy to hear that report from them anyway.
Exactly, yeah. We'll see how that
Not
all
much steam
pans
behind
out.
it, I don't think, so.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
I figured
Thank you,
that's where I
Carol.
was gonna go.
All right, anything else?
Thanks.
Any questions?
Should do it.
Okay, thank you.
Consider approval for the auditor to sign the engagement letter for Shelby County's annual financial audit.
Do we have
No,
to do
it's
a vote on the tax abatement?
We did.
We did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So this letter's, when Darren came to the last meeting and did his presentation, I didn't have this on there, so
Okay.
just signing his report that he gave.
Okay, okay.
I'll make a motion to allow the auditor to sign the engagement letter.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Committee reports. Mike?
In your committee report, want to mention the farm ground that I didn't have
Sure.
on the agenda?
Yeah, before we do committee reports, farm ground got left off the agenda accidentally. So how, do you want to handle it again?
First, we just had one.
Oh, okay. Well, you can open the bids, but
Okay.
you can't
Just won't
approve
vote
any,
on it.
can't take any action
Can't take
on it.
any action on it, okay. Now, what were you saying about the sludge, Charlie?
We can,
It's been mentioned that if we apply sludge to the land out there, that has to be on the agreement.
Has to be on the agreement
we can get that on there.
Mm-hmm.
before we approve it
Well, you,
at the next meeting?
yeah.
Okay. Does that work? Okay, sounds good. So do we want to open them right now? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can open the
We
bids.
can open them, but
Okay.
just won't
We'll
vote
go ahead and
on
open the
anything.
bids now. For the farm ground, we only had two. We have the check. And, let's see, $3.90 an acre for the South Farm down at the Country Care Center. And that was from Weiss. There's a check. Also from Craig Weiss, $3.80 for the North Farm, the landfill farm. So at our next meeting, we'll take official action on that. We'll get it on the agenda. So, thanks, Craig. What's that?
Is that acceptable?
We only had two bids, so.
Technically one.
Technically one, yeah.
One
Yep,
bid.
One bid. All right, so back to the committee reports, Mike.
I got my list, off the top of my head, I attended the Board of Public Health meeting and had some good news out of there. The RSV and COVID positive tests are really low in Shelby County, so we're in good shape there so far. That was a few weeks ago, so that could change, obviously. Along with you two, attended the 4-county meeting and just kind of compared notes with our surrounding neighbors on the issues at hand. And then attended the district supervisors meeting in Creston last week also. Pipeline was of paramount concern there, so kind of providing an update to the group where we're at on that. And just talked everything from wages to benefits, all kinds of different things across southwest Iowa that people are dealing with. ISAC was there, had one legislator there. Very interesting discussion. That was probably the most interesting meeting I've been to in my first year on board here, so it was really good. Meeting room wasn't great, but the discussion was great.
At the Pizza Ranch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tight.
It's kind of broken up into a couple of different rooms. But anyway, it was a good meeting, and took away a couple of ideas I'm going to check in on and see if it can help us out.
Great. Charlie?
I have nothing. I did want to mention, I talked to the veterans over here about the 2080 agreement. So she's supposed to get a copy from whoever got one, and then she'll present it to us.
Okay. Along with Taryn, Charlie, and Mike, went to the 4-county meeting, which, yeah, a lot of good discussion on a lot of good topics, so.
Kind of a therapy session at times.
Yeah.
And we're not alone in our headaches.
Yep, picked up some good ideas, and it was a good meeting. Also had EMS committee last week, 2 weeks ago, had Conservation Board, and tomorrow Southwest Iowa Juvenile, so. Working on budgets mainly and planning for next year, so. All right, department heads. Any department heads want to give a report out there? Anyone?
Excellent.
Okay, we're good. Moving on to consider approval to direct the budget director to advertise for public hearing on the proposed 2026 budget amendment to be held at 9 a.m. on January 2nd, 2026 in the Supervisors Chamber at 612 Court Street, Harlan, Iowa. Taryn?
I have 2 things on there. One for the EMS with some additional revenue to spend that, since we've got our first taxes in September, but all the revenue hasn't come in yet, and with the purchase of the ambulance, that's pushed him up in the budget, so
Okay.
have him on there. And for general assistance, that budget was forgot, so I think I put 30,000,
Okay.
so that will be pulled from reserve, but his will be revenue that he's received in,
Okay.
so that won't pull from his reserve.
Okay. Any questions, gentlemen?
It was Friday, January 2.
That's our first meeting of the year.
Yep. Organizational meeting.
Yep.
Yep. Need a motion on that then?
Yes.
Yeah, any other discussion, Charlie?
Nope. Motion approved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Consider approval of resolution 2025-26 establishing a new fund, unemployment insurance.
So we were in a insurance pool for unemployment with other counties through ISAC. They've dissolved that pool and everybody's going off individually. Some have opted to do a self-unemployment fund like we do the self-insurance, and some will just pay monthly into ISAC. With the claims we have and where we sit, I felt it was in the best interest to just do the unemployment or the self-unemployment. So
Is that what most counties are doing?
it's kind of split.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a handful of them that are doing it one way. Some were in the pool and they were already doing it this way or just paying monthly. So this resolution will establish the new fund and allow me to create it.
So it's money that we were already sending to Isaac. We're just gonna keep in-house
Yeah, so
now,
instead of sending it
basically.
to them to put towards the pool, then we'll just keep it.
Keep it in-house.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yep, and then we'll, they'll just send us a invoice on what we have, and then we'll pay that from this fund.
Okay. Sounds good. Further discussion?
And they'll also, they're distributing, we just received our first check. They'll give half of what we have in there now, and then the other half at the end of 27, when they, after the claims have been paid that they are paying on now. So I think we got 45,000 now to put in the fund, and then whatever
Okay.
you guys decide to add to it.
Okay. We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Want to come up, Alex? Consider approval of resolution 2025-27, open burning in Shelby County. I was approached by some firemen that have been on fires that were caused by people unattending their open burning. They'll start a fire and they'll leave. And pretty soon we got 5 fire departments flying out there to put this thing out. I talked to Alex about it, see if we could do something, and he's gonna explain it.
Yeah, so there is a section in the state code that says what you should do for open burning. There are some other counties who have imposed local resolutions to just kind of emphasize that and put local penalties on it if you don't follow what's already in state code. So the resolution just references that open burning section under, I don't have it with me, but the state code section, and imposes penalties for people locally that is enforceable by the sheriff's office if they don't follow it. So it's pretty cut and dry. If it's, if you're burning something, you need to have somebody attending it at all times. There are some, and that has exclusions in there for, obviously you can't open burn during a burn ban. And then there's some other things like a grill isn't considered open burning. Kind of defines
Burn
that.
barrel.
Yeah, burn
Stuff.
barrel, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If it has corrugated, I forget exactly what the measurements have to be. It has to have a cover on it for it not to be considered an open burn.
So a burn barrel with no cover, you'd have to stand by it while it's
Yeah.
burning.
And I did have Marcus look at it, and he sent some changes on it too. So we made those changes, and then we did have a meeting at the Emergency Services Association, which has all the fire chiefs, and our EMA meeting. So all the fire chiefs looked at it, EMA's looked at it, everybody's in agreement that it's something that we should move forward with.
Can the fire chief cite also?
Yes, yeah, I think it puts,
Not just the sheriff, but the fire chiefs?
right, yeah, both can cite for it, and it does have, we do have a uniform billing ordinance, which we'll be talking about at our next ESA meeting, and then approaching you guys with, which sets the rates at which they bill, or fire departments can bill for if they choose to. And that's also mentioned in there too, so they can cite under a county ordinance and also bill if there's a response.
Recreational fires, like a fire ring,
I don't think
you
that's.
don't have to put that completely out before
No,
you go
no,
to bed
like-
for the night or something.
Yeah, it's mostly talking about if you have, a lot of the
Brush
farmers
and-
dig a big hole and put their burn,
Yeah.
trees and stuff in it, so.
And can they be cited if it doesn't cause a fire to spread somewhere and the neighbor wants to call him in and say, come out here, he's not standing, he's not attending his fire, or is it, well, the penalties only occur if it gets out of?
No, it's
If they're not there.
Yeah, if they're not there and
it's
it's witnessed, then they can cite it. Normally, what we've always instructing people to do for a long time is if you're going to be burning something, to call the comm center and let us know. So that way, number one, we know that it's a controlled burn. We don't need to page out the fire department. And number two, we can, we know where stuff is. So we're going to continue that so that we know. And for the most part, I would say 99% of the county, or people who live in the county, follow that. But it's just that 1%.
Under the common sense ordinance.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's separate from open burn or like a burn ban. It will be enforceable even if we're not under a burn ban and you're not following what the rules are in the ordinance. So.
Any other questions?
You've obviously thought about any unintended consequences that sometimes occur on these things, but.
Yeah, and I mean, for the most part, like Bryce had said, People are generally use common
Yeah.
sense, and this would just kind of give something to go back on, because if, if something does happen where, you have an unintended burn, it causes a huge thing, the fire departments can bill, but there's not necessarily a penalty for that. So now it's establishing a penalty for that.
Any other questions? I think it's a good resolution. And we've had some awful big fires from people that have been not attending their fires and put a lot of people in danger. So,
Are there hours, like, can you burn after sunset or anything? I know in the city of Harlan, it's gone to dusk. You can't burn after.
I don't think that there's anything, not that I've seen anyway.
I've never heard of anything out in the county that.
No. Yeah, not that I've seen.
A lot prettier at night.
Yeah, it is.
okay, we have a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Anything else, Taryn? We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.